Hello and welcome to another edition of City at Your Service. I'm Jonathan Thomas, and right now I am joined by Jessica Gilzow, a program manager for nature programs with Parks and Rec, representing the Austin Nature and Science Center. Jessica, first off, thanks for joining us. This is, a space that, some people aren't aware of. The Nature and Science Center. So my first question is, just kind of, what do you think folks should check out? What makes this space so cool and interesting?
Yeah, the Austin Nature and Science Center is a great location for families and visitors to our city to just learn a little bit about the native plants and animals that are here in Austin and what makes us unique. And it's a great place to spend time just exploring and learning about science that impacts us here in Central Texas.
Now, you all, we have a special guest as well joining us in a little bit. But you all have so many cool things going on. Anything you want to update us on what's going on, coming up for the summer, maybe that's happening out at the Nature and Science Center?
Yeah, actually, during the summer, the majority of our focus is on summer camps, which are full at this time, but they're an exciting part of our programming for children ages 5 all the way up to 14. And then also this summer, we are having a program on Saturdays, a Saturday in June, to celebrate Pollinator Week, where people can come out and learn about Bee City and how they can help protect pollinators and their native habitat here in Austin and be a part of making a difference in our environment.
And how large would you say is the space?
Yeah, we're on 15 acres. We have several buildings. We have animals on exhibit, and we're back up to the Zilker Nature Preserve. So people can come out and explore the 15 acres that we have, where we have, like I said, the animals on exhibit. We have a dino pit where we have replicas of the prehistoric animals that lived here in Central Texas. And we actually have their fossils that were the replicas of their fossils buried in the dino pit, and kids can come, and adults can too, come and explore and dig those up and learn about them. We also have a creek that runs through our area. Lots of people love to dip their toes in and take nets and try to catch minnows. And then we have a trade counter where folks can bring things in from nature. So if they have found a leaf or a really cool rock, they can come in and talk to a naturalist about the things that they found and learn a little bit more about it and have curiosity. And then by doing that, they can leave it behind, or they can get points for their curiosity. And then they can use that to purchase other items in nature and kind of build like a nature collection.
Oh, that's really cool. So, you find something that you think, is interesting and you want to learn more about it, and you head on over there. And you could, like you said, it could benefit you, down the road as well, just personally, with right?
Yeah. So a lot of times people find like a really cool rock and they'll want to learn more about it, or they have a lot of information about it and they'll sit down with a naturalist and they can just talk about what it is or what they found, or maybe they'll bring in a bone that they found somewhere, and they'll get to ask questions, and the naturalist will help them use resources like field guides to identify whatever it is that they brought in. And so not only are they learning about that specific item, they're learning how to find out that information on their own. And then when they're done, there are all these like treasures, like they might get to trade that rock in for a fossil, or they can trade it in for maybe a really cool bone, or they can save up their points because they're saving up for like a really cool skull of something that somebody else brought in.
That's awesome. How do you all decide like what to showcase? Like what goes all into, basically the process of, when you discover something and you want to put it on display, just kind of how does that work?
Yeah. So the Nature and Science Center's focus really is on native plants and animals. And so when we are doing displays, what we want to do when we're having exhibits, we want people to learn about like the environment that's here in Central Texas. one of the things that we talk about in Austin all the time is we talk about like we want to make it a livable city for the people that live here, but actually there's lots of animals and plants that have been here for much longer. And so as we're thinking about our city, knowing what is here in the, open areas and thinking about how we accommodate those other things that are living with us, and also like eliminating fear about certain things like snakes that are here that actually help control rodent populations, or, sometimes people are afraid of birds, but like we have lots of great birds that help us with spreading seeds or pollinating. So, I think it's just our focus is on helping connect people with nature in a way that is not intimidating, right? You don't have to just go out immediately and go on a long backpacking trip through, some part of, some state park. You can actually come into this, here in the city. You're not that far from your home, and you can learn more about nature and kind of dip your toe in.
And the snake thing, that was a little shot at me because we were talking off air about it because, that's the thing. Like I don't love snakes, but I learned about some of the non-threatening, non-venomous snakes that you all have there. And I learned a lot about that. And it was like, okay, cool. So I wouldn't be afraid to see, any of those particular snakes that you all were talking about, unless I stepped on one of them. Then I might have to watch out because apparently if you step on, I can't remember what type of snake was it? It was a type of snake where if you step on it, that's when they strike. But
well, they might, but the chances of you stepping on one, they're pretty fast, really. They see you coming and they want to get out of the way. But we have all these wonderful things that are in our environment that a lot of times you don't even notice. And the good thing is if they are dangerous to us in any way, they typically notice you and they're like, I want to get out of here because you're more dangerous to them than they are to us.
What would you say, what were some of the things you learned from, your time and working at the Nature and Science Center?
Yeah, so when I started out in 2005 as an educator, we did school programs, which we still do. So children from all across Austin and AISD and then Eanes and other school districts come for field trips. And we had to learn, curriculum to teach the kids about geology, biology, limnology, which is the study of ponds. I learned a lot about the aquifer, which is something that affects all of us. For those people who have had the chance to go to Barton Springs and swim in Barton Springs, that cool water comes from our aquifer, which is underground. And the behaviors that we have and the way we think about how we do things within the city impact the quality of that water. And so I've learned so much about what's happening here locally in Austin and how it relates to the science that we all learned in school. By the time I started there, I might have forgotten some of the things, but it gave me a good refresher. And then it really connected that information to what's here. And I think now I go out into the world and I look around and I see things and I think, oh, I see how that's connected to me and how it makes a difference in my life every day.
That's awesome. And now it's time. I think we should bring out our special guest here. This is a turtle that you have brought. Mm-hmm. And what is her name?
Her name is CS.
CS. And as we see here, CS is out on the table on display.
Yeah, she is an ornate box turtle. She's an ornate box turtle, and her name is CS because she has a cracked shell.
Okay. Cracked shell if you can't follow.
Yeah. And she's about 40 years old. She came to the Austin Nature and Science Center as an adult. She was a non-releasable animal due to her injuries. She can't protect herself by box turtles. One of their protections, their main protection is obviously their shell, which is called their carapace. And they actually pull their legs and head in. And she can't get her legs all the way in because of the injury to her shell. Mm-hmm. And these box turtles live in plains areas or open woodlands. And so you might see them or not see them because one of their protections, like I said, is to pull themselves in, and they might just look like a rock. And so you might walk right past them. So,
Nice.
yeah.
So, and CS is 40, correct?
Well, she's probably a little older than 40 because she's been at the Nature and Science Center since 1985. And like I said, she was found with the injury, and then because she was no longer releasable, she came to live out the rest of her life. And now she's had a very, she's had a long life. I mean, she'll probably be here for many years, but at the Nature and Science Center, providing education to school children and families and visitors. She's probably interacted with, I don't know, probably hundreds of thousands of different people over the 40 years that she's been at the Nature Center as a working animal.
And in addition to again, as you said, there are a lot of cool animals there.
Oh, yeah.
But in addition to CS, I learned about there's a bobcat there as well.
Yes.
And sometimes that bobcat will get a visitor. Tell me about that. Tell me that story.
Yeah, so we have a bobcat named Moxie, and one Saturday they came in and discovered that there was another bobcat up in the tree above her enclosure. We haven't only seen it that one time, and they did have to close off the area to keep it safe. But Moxie is really popular, and she has a lot of charisma. So that day she kind of just hid, and we don't know. We do have wild animals because we back up to the Zilker Nature Preserve. So we do have wild animals in the area. So we have a raven that also has a lot of visitors, Pogo, and she has a lot of visitors. And we do have a video somewhere of her picking up her toys in her enclosure and showing the other ravens. And we don't know if they're like bringing news from the outside world or if they're like, if they're pestering them. But it is interesting to see that interaction. And Pogo is, another big personality that we have on site.
That's so awesome. Love it. I love, hearing about animals interacting. It's quite fascinating. Now, CS has been out of her box for a little while. I'm sure she's a little hungry. So Jessica is getting a snack ready for her. So this is, what is CS eating, Jessica, or you're feeding CS?
This is a roach. It's a dubia roach.
And this was not from my apartment. I want to say that right now.
No, not at all.
I've never seen that roach before.
No, not at all. They are actually really docile and different than the type of roaches that we would see in our or in and around homes. I know CS is actually now like, I want to go somewhere. Right?
Yes, CS is moving furiously.
Snacked in peace.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't like eating in front of people either. CS, I understand, especially on camera.
I'll hold you over here, CS.
Yes, is a little shy right now. That's
yeah. I'll put her back in her cage so she can eat.
She can eat in peace. That's very cool. Very cool. So if, let's say if I really, interested in seeing CS and Moxie and some of the other characters that we discussed, when is the Nature and Science Center open? Is it can I just show up whenever? How much does it cost? How does that work?
Yeah. So the Nature and Science Center is open 7 days a week. It's open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5 p.m. And then it opens on Sundays at noon, and it's open until 5 p.m. It's free. So anyone can come. So visitors are welcome to come and visit. We do have programming year round. Like I said, we have the field trips, we have summer camp, we have this summer, like I said, the special program for Pollinator Week, but we have weekend programming during the school year oftentimes. You can come out and learn all the things. Sometimes we even in the fall, we'll have like Fall Fest where you can explore our planetarium. We have an inflatable planetarium. So there's lots of things to do at the Nature and Science Center. And we're located in Zilker Park, just off Stratford Drive, kind of behind the Botanical Gardens. So when you come on Barton Springs Road and you turn kind of just before the Botanical Gardens and after the big open field, you park on your Mopac and just walk up and bring your whole family.
Yeah, there it is. It sounds easy and very accessible as well. So that's awesome. Well, Jessica, before we let you go, any other information, any website, people can get some more information about the Nature and Science Center.
Yeah.
What do people need to know before you get out of here?
Yeah, you can just go to the Austin Nature and Science Center website, and it's one of the City of Austin websites, and so if you look up Austin Nature and Science Center, it'll take you right there, and it gives you all the information about our hours, the trade counter, how to use that, and all the different features that we have, and any special events and programs. And it also will list all the times that we have programs and link you to the registration information. So if you're interested in finding out about programs, visit our website and then sign up. We hope to see everybody out there visiting and learning more about what we have to offer.
Well, I enjoyed learning about what you had to offer very much. Thank you so much for joining us, Jessica. Once again, that's Jessica Gilzow. And I'm Jonathan Thomas. This has been City at Your Service. Thank you for watching and listening.